Thanks, Trayana. Thanks for having me.
Pull your mic up so we can hear you.
Good
There we go.
morning. Thank you, Trayana, for having me. I'm wonderful.
Well, this is exciting because the last time we had you on, you guys were just about to be thinking about how to pull this campaign together and really share that this is a next phase of creating a cultural arts center. Tell us a bit about this project.
Yes, thank you. Well, this project represents the work of 38 years that we've already laid the groundwork for. The African Cultural Arts Center will be launched right in the belly of Rainier Valley, in the neighborhood of Brighton, and it's going to bring about more awareness, arts and culture, the roots of Africa and African people. We've been doing the work, but it's been more of a celebration. And now we want to be able to have sacred space for the community that lives and works there.
Yeah, this is so important, and it really is another institution that is so needed. I love how you talk about it being one of those pillars, really, in the community of driving African culture home and having a place for it. Because y'all have been doing the work for a very long
Yes.
time, and it's been something that so many in throughout all of our communities have been able to experience. But what are some of the things you're most excited for when you think about this center finally being done? Y'all doing the ribbon cutting. Tell us about some of the things that community can expect that'll be held there at the center.
Well, it's exciting right now because people walk by, they're very interested, they'll come, they'll knock on the door, and they want to get engaged just when we're not as accessible as we're facing forward. We will, for the first time, have a public facing office because currently our offices have been in our living room. And so we're going to excavate the property. We're going to, well, first acquire it and excavate it. And then we'll have, as I mentioned, a public facing Afua ACAC office. And then we'll have a boardroom. We'll have some ADA restrooms. The property itself will be renamed to call it a living archive because that's who we are. That's the work we do. We transition, we perform, we present, we honor our African culture, our roots, our heritage. It's a creative advantage that we want to sustain. And so we do offer year-round rites of passage programs for young girls of color between the ages of 11 and 18 years old, and this will allow them to have their sacred space as well.
Yeah, this is beautiful. I mean, when I think about all the things that you guys offer, the rites of passage program is so
Yes.
necessary for our community, particularly when we think about young women, finding themselves and,
Yes.
understanding who they are and the
Hmm.
power that they possess. I think it's so important. But you guys are also known for, doing all of these cultural classes, dance,
Yes.
understanding African heritage and culture, the
Yes.
roots. So you guys provide a lot of different services out in community, and now all that's going to be able to be centered right here at the center.
Yes.
But also such a much needed facet of Rainier Valley. I mean, when you talk about the space in and of itself in Brighton, like this is one of the most diverse zip codes and diverse spaces that
Say
the
that.
city has. And
Yes.
so it's great to know that, African culture will be celebrated there. When we think about this campaign now, you guys are launching this amazing campaign to acquire the space and to do this necessary build out. Tell us
Yes.
more about the funding needed and how folks can stay engaged in that side of the work you're doing now.
Thank you. Well, when we talk about the acquisition, we should have started talking about this 38 years ago when we first opened the doors. Because the first day that we moved into that property um, to live there was the same day we opened the doors for the community to come in and be a part of the work. So it's been already acknowledged as a cultural landmark. We've had, as I mentioned, the rites of passages. We've had state of Washington visitation sessions. We've had Kemetic Temple meetings there weekly. We've had, you name it. So many events, so many blessing ceremonies have already existed there. And so the value is there. But what happened is during COVID, right? Because we're always bouncing around community, locations. Just you call us and we're there. We provide the cultural necessities, because our work is really an extension of the household, right? And
Yeah.
so, it's not only for young, folks. It's not only for families, but we want to also bridge that gap from our elders. Some of them have not had the opportunity. Most of them have sacred stories that there's no sacred space to really hold, the continuation of our culture within. And so I just wanted to mention that first when we talk about the value of the work. So, when we look at this space that we are gonna manifest, we want to start it. Well, think about how you've already invested, right? And so now we're switching because we've never asked for monies before on this type of a level. So um, it will take 300,000 to acquire the building. The owner of the property wants us to take over the space, and they will not charge us one penny over what's due on the mortgage. So that will take 300,000. And then we're working with Jacob and Sons contractors and Blackstreet Construction, and they will do the excavating, all the contractual and the capacity building. We're looking at Curtis Calhoun and Friends to help us with growth strategies, because our organizations have grown in the last 38 years and the community has grown. So how do we work together with our new ACAC board and et cetera? So working with growth strategies, construction, acquisition, that's a total of $800,000. And I know that there's initiatives out there that are supporting other organizations that are great, that are doing great, awesome, amazing work. And they are beloved um, activities that are happening in their sacred spaces. And we want sacred spaces for African people in Rainier Valley. And that will come to 800,000.
Wow. So what a major campaign you guys are launching. When you think about how y'all are doing this, you're coming and bringing it directly to community. I know you guys
Yes.
have other strategies, but how can community be engaged and help really support this campaign?
Thank you. I did miss that, didn't I? We are so excited to offer community forums. We want community to be involved on every level that they're able to be. We have our community advisory board, we have our strategic team, and we also have event planning. There's so many different ways. If you would look on social media under ADEFUA, which is ADEFUA, because ADEFUA is our fiscal sponsor and the actual cultural anchor of this initiative. So African Cultural Arts Center will be Black owned, Black operated, as we fully deserve to be. And we're just asking for the support of the community, because it will be you and your voices that will make this manifest. And we want you to join us. So we have www.adefuacenter.org, adefuacenter.org. And then we also have just created a website, africanculturalartscenter.com.
Wow, amazing, Miss Afua. Thank you so much for your
Thank
dedication
you.
to bringing these cultural traditions to our community, making us remember our ancestral heritage and brilliance
Yes.
and legacy. You have been so embedded in community. I'm so grateful that you had time to join me today to share this amazing opportunity with everyone. Thank you so
Thanks
much for
for
everything
having
you're doing.
us. Thanks for
Absolutely.
having us.
Anytime.
Thank you.
You got it. Oh my goodness.